Hello. Um. Yeah. This video has to do with the damage done by Hurricane Helene and how we got here. I know many people don't want to hear it, but there's something called climate change. And guess what, motherfucker? It played a big role in this. I've been to Asheville. I flew out of the Asheville airport because I thought it might be a little easier to do than flying out of Johnson City. So I've been through the airports. I've been through the town a few times. I visited a couple times Biltmore Manor down in Asheville. Like 2 or 3 times. Yeah. So I'm familiar a little bit. I don't know where every little thing was at in Asheville. But I've been through there a share of times. This all could have been prevented if we would have taken the warnings about climate change much more seriously, because one of the things we are often told, the hurricanes will be much more powerful, much more often. And I know there's probably a lot of people whining, why are you talking about climate change? Can't you just talk? Look, you may not like it, but they're two and the same. It's just like when people whine they don't want to hear talk about guns when there's a school shooting. Guess what? You have to talk about it, or the problem never gets solved. Yeah. What happened was not right, and again, something that could have been prevented. We could have pushed back. But because the storm was able to catch hold and ride up the spine of the Appalachian Mountains, Asheville ended up being in the path of something that never should have happened. Ever. Again, this is something we've been warned about over and over and over. But there's just some people who are like, la 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 la. And now you're like, how did this happen? Seriously. My heart goes out to the people of Asheville. In an event that never should have been. But because people refused to listen, it happened. And I know there's still going to be buffoons who will still refuse to listen. It's sad, but unfortunately it's true. There will still be people who are unwilling to listen because their mind has been so propagandized that climate change is just a BS talking point liberal media wants you to fear. It's not real. Ignore what's actually happening because it's just how things are. Not because of climate change. People. We need to get out of the propaganda boxes. I always say, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Look up the information. Don't just look for one piece of information that is something that provides confirmation bias. No, we need proof. Definitive, verifiable, multiple sources. As many as we can have. Fox News, MSNBC, Newsmax, CNN, OAN, and the ABC, NBC, CBS. They are all propaganda sources. Yes, at times they provide you with some source of news. I mean, it's supposed to be technically what they are. So they're going to provide information. It may be skewed in a direction. Or sometimes, as is the case with Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, when it comes to talking about Israel and Palestine, just straight made up. But yeah. We need it used to be something we sought. Two, a more educated populace. This is when America was becoming great. The populace was becoming educated. People were getting smarter. We were doing great things. And then Ronald Reagan and his FCC broke America. I've talked about this before. The fairness doctrine, which said news sources would provide the most fair and honest news up to the best of their ability. Because guess what? We had issues with propaganda before. And yeah, for 30 years, there was a golden age. But again, Ronald Reagan and his FCC screwed it all up and screwed America. And since then, it's all been downhill. We're not this great civilization anymore. We're not this great nation. We're a tottering, feeble old fool. We could be great. Take the propagandist, kick them in the head and say, look, what y'all been doing is not acceptable. And we want honest truth coming back to American sources. Back to American minds. And it'll take a while to fix it because so many people have been propagandized and broken. But this brings me back to the original point. We were warned of the damage that climate change would do. And unfortunately, people in Asheville have had to pay the cost. And it's not right. At all. Again, my heart goes out to Asheville, North Carolina. I know there were other things that were going on as well, but the devastation in Asheville is just... But I also heard word of dams breaking in parts of Tennessee and... Yeah. It's something that could have been prevented. But, again, propagandization has screwed America. And it needs to end. But I wanted to talk about that with you all because it's something that's been on my mind and I had to get it off. So there it is. But yeah, as always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll try to get you all some sources. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.